You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, aspiring actors. With me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And every week, I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid, working, unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready? Hello and welcome to another episode of the Unstoppable Actors podcast. I'm really excited to have you here, and I want to firstly, before I share with you how I just recently got signed by a new agent, which I'm so excited about, and I'm going to be telling you all of the steps I took to do that so you can do the same, I actually want to show gratitude to you for tuning in and listening to the Unstoppable Actors podcast. We are going to go to John, who left a review on last week's episode, which was 3 ways to stop rejection getting you down. And he said, "Hello, Louise. Thank you for sharing this episode. I'm listening to your advice now. I was just thinking about rejection in general and not just as an actor. It really is getting in a space of love and honouring ourselves and being 100% okay to know it's not personal, even when it feels like it is. Our emotions, as you say, are valid and we can process it." So thank you so much, John, for leaving that feedback and that review and sharing with me that you found the episode really, really useful. That is my aim. If you are listening, whether it be on Spotify or Audible or even on our website, once you get to the end of the episode, if you've really enjoyed it, you've found it inspiring, insightful or useful, please do leave a review, share your feedback, let me know what you thought of the episode, because without you listening, there would be no Unstoppable Actors podcast, and I'm truly grateful for you being in our community and, listening to the episode. So share your thoughts at the end of this one. Let's dive in then. I'm really excited to talk to you today because, as I said at the beginning, I got signed by an agent last week. I only relaunched my acting career officially in April, and at the time of recording this, it is now July. So what's that? May, June, July. 3 months ago. So in those last 3 months, I've got my show reel together. I talk all about that in one of the other episodes. I've been getting myself out to a ton of auditions that I've been finding myself. I'm pretty sure I talk about that in another episode as well. I just can't remember which one it is. And I obviously started looking for an agent and landed one last week. So in 3 months, I've done all of that. Oh, and got myself back on Spotlight as well. That was the other thing. So I want to dive into today. I don't want to dive into today. What am I on about? I want to dive into how I got an agent so you can nick my ideas and you can take what you feel inspired by and try it out yourself. So I'm just going to give you a really brief overview because I appreciate some of you will be brand new to the podcast. You will never have listened to any of the episodes ever and think, oh my God, what is she on about? She's relaunched a career. And then for some of you, you will have listened to the other episodes, but maybe you've forgotten. Maybe you've forgotten that I took a break. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what happened, because obviously life gets in the way. We can forget things. So what happened is I trained as an actress when I was 18. I took professional training. I got loads of paid acting work. I worked with some brilliant actors and had an amazing time. And then I just had to take a break from the industry. And I won't go into the whys and wherefores. I just had to take a break. And it ended up being an extended break. And then at the back end of last year, so that would have been 2021. So around, I don't know, maybe September, August time. I can't remember. It was around the later end of 2021 anyway. I started getting these nudges inside of me to go back into acting. And, I just tried to ignore them. I was like, no. I'm just going to focus on being an acting coach. Because at that time in 2021, I'd been coaching actors for 11 years and I've been helping them build up their profiles. And, my students have done really well. Like they've got themselves into some amazing, amazing productions like Netflix, Amazon Prime. They've got themselves on soaps, on TV. They've got themselves in big stage productions. They've got themselves amazing agents. And I was just loving doing that. But I have to admit that I think I kind of hid behind that a little bit as well. Maybe there was some fear deep down somewhere about relaunching an acting career. I don't know. There's got to have been. But I did try to ignore these nudges. Anyway, they started getting so loud, so strong, and what happened? Oh yeah, I think I had a couple of Reiki sessions. Oh, and a tarot reading. That was the other thing. Yeah, I'm really into these woo-woo kind of things. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. It doesn't matter. But acting came up there as well. So anyway, I decided to follow these intuitive nudges. And the first thing I did is I booked a showreel. So I got that sorted because the showreel that I had was very out of date. I was a totally different actress, totally different person. Physically, I'd changed a lot as well. And mentally, just had a lot more life experience behind me and a lot more knowledge about the craft and just developed my skills as well. So I got my showreel booked, did that. And then I decided, in fact, no, before I booked my showreel, what am I on about? Before I did that, I went back to the craft and I started working through a course called Seamless, which if you are not new to the Unstoppable Actors podcast, you will have heard me talk about in other episodes. It's just a really amazing little online course that you can just keep going back to again and again and again. And there are either 6 or 7 method acting exercises in there, and they're just ones that you will use, whether it be for auditions or whether it be for productions. They're the basics that you need. So I just kept going back over that and refreshing myself on them and, really working on my craft in that way. And then the other thing I did is an online course called the Business of Acting Bootcamp. So I did that because I knew that I couldn't just throw myself into the acting industry willy-nilly. I needed to have a game plan. So this is why I started the Business of Acting Bootcamp, and I started it at the back end of 2022. About December time, November. I started it then, and then I continued it into January, just did it again. So the first 2 modules, by the way, I've linked the Business of Acting Bootcamp into the description. So if you want to go and check it out after, then definitely do, because this has literally been my North Star. I did all of the modules, obviously, but module 1 and 2 are the ones that I keep coming back to. So module 1 works on your mindset. So I did this module over and over and over again to rid myself of any limiting beliefs and to really find the belief in myself as an actress, because I'm going to be honest, it was a little bit scary relaunching my acting career. And I listened to, there's a bonus guided visualization that you get. So it's a guided visualization for success. And I listened to that on repeat. I listened to it before going to bed. It's only 9 minutes, 50 seconds long or something. I listened to it before going to bed, and I listened to it waking up, and I just listened to it over and over and over and over again, and followed the guidance to visualize what I wanted from an acting career. And let me tell you, the crazy thing is, the thing that I've been visualizing over and over again through this, it's like a little meditation, I guess. Through doing that, I keep seeing it cropping up absolutely everywhere. So I'm like, okay, this is definitely happening. This is a done deal. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it is going to happen. So I did that module 1, which is called Thinking Like an A-List Actor. And that really helped me weed out any unhelpful thoughts and any unhelpful beliefs. So that's the first thing I did. And then I did module 2, which is a 90-day sprint. And that helped me get clear on what was going to happen over the next 90 days in my acting career. So as I said to you, I actually filmed the showreel in March, but I didn't get it back until April. So it was in between April and July that I've done this 90-day sprint, and I have achieved everything that I set out to achieve. Honestly, it was so exciting. So the first thing was that I was going to get myself out to as many auditions as I possibly could, because I had this bloody stupid fear about auditions, that I was crap at them and I could never turn them into paying jobs and blah, blah, blah. You know how your brain thinks. It just tells you a load of crap, which is why the Thinking Like an A-List Actor module just really helped me, because it helped me change my mindset. And my mindset was, well, even if I am rubbish at auditions, I'm just going to get out to as many as I can and I'm going to get better at them. And even if I am so terrified about auditions, which I was, by the way, and I still do get a bit scared about them, I was just like, well, it doesn't matter. You're just going to go out there and get to as many as you can, and you're going to learn from every single audition. And that is what I've done. I have managed to get myself out to more auditions in the shortest space of time over the last 3 months than I ever did in my acting career before, when I was really on the ball before. But now I'm like really, really, really on the ball, like way more than before. And it's been amazing. And actually now I'm addicted to auditioning. If I don't have an audition coming up, I'm like, oh my God, I need to find myself some more auditions. And yeah, it's just become a bit of an addiction, and I love it. But it's a good addiction because I really enjoy working my craft. I really enjoy meeting new people. I really enjoy putting myself in that challenging space now where I'm like, I have no idea what's going to happen. Let's just see what happens. It's so exciting. So yeah, been out to more auditions than I've ever been to in my life in the shortest space of time. As I've already said, I'm repeating myself. I got myself a paid acting job, which for those of you that have been listening to the podcast for a while, you will know it was one of my highest paid acting jobs. I did that in June. So that was a film. That was actually the first audition that I had back in the relaunch of my acting career, and I got it. How exciting. So I've done that. I've also been out networking, and I've built up my networks, which I also put down in my 90-day sprint. So I've reconnected with old networks, that sounds really bad, doesn't it? But like people that I knew from the industry from before, and I've made new friends, actors, directors, sound people, producers. It is so exciting. So I've really been building out my networks. And then in this 90-day sprint, I told myself that I was going to do 2 paid acting jobs before I applied for an agent. But, and I mentioned this in one of the other episodes, after I'd finished the film, I was on such a high that I was like, by the way, guys, just going to warn you, there's going to be a swear word. So if you don't like them, cover your ears. If you're around kids, cover their ears. Sorry, but it's coming and there won't be a bleep. But yeah, so at the end of that film, when I just finished it, I thought, fuck it. I am on such a high that I might as well ride this wave that I'm on and get right into agents. I did all of the Business of Acting bootcamp. I did module 3, but what I really dove into was module 4, which is all about branding. It's actually called Standing Out from the Crowd, but it's all about branding yourself as an actor, because I know that there are an ocean of actors out there, and I have to stand out from the crowd because there are tons and tons and tons of working class northern actresses like myself who are from the north of England. And it's like, well, what makes me different from the rest of them? So I really went through module 4 with a fine-tooth comb, and I found my brand, I found my unique selling points, I really got it all together, and I got super, super clear on what they were. And so then I decided to start researching agents. And this is what I did. I researched 50 agents. And let me tell you, it took me a bloody long time to do this, because I thoroughly researched them on social media. I went through their websites with a fine-tooth comb. I tried to find actors who were actively acting and look on their profiles and see what was going on. So I did a hell of a lot of research. And I got myself a spreadsheet and put everything that I'd found into this spreadsheet, which this is the boring side of running a business. Obviously, I'm a creative. I don't particularly like spreadsheets. Unless you're, very logically minded, you probably won't like that either. Sorry, my cat is just meowing in the background. She wants to get on top of the wardrobe. Give me a second. I'm just going to pause recording and then come back to you. Okay, there we go. She is now on top of the wardrobe. Just to digress, she does this thing where she has to jump on top of my shoulders and then get herself on top of the wardrobe because her sister's up there. Anyway, that's not how I got an agent. That's nothing to do with me getting an agent. That's just in case you could hear him meowing in the background. So where was I up to? Branding. Oh, agents. Yeah, I was talking about I kept them on everything that I'd found on this spreadsheet. And I was just saying, if you're creative like me and you don't like logical admin tasks, you're probably not going to enjoy doing that. But it was so useful for me to document everything. So I had this list of 50 agents, and I used the bonus cover letter that you get in, I think it's in module 10 of the Business of Acting bootcamp, and I just modified it a little bit to make it sound more personal to me. And I was really, really proud of this cover letter. Obviously, I got my spotlight back up ages ago, as I've already told you. That's happened in the last 3 months as well. So then what I did is I wrote out to 25 out of the 50 agents. And oh my Lord, let me tell you this. I've never got rejections as good in my life. Now, I talk about these in the last episode, which is the one where John left really amazing feedback on. But yeah, I was getting brilliant feedback. Like, people were saying to me, listen, don't think you're right for me at the moment, but please stay in touch and let me know when you're in a show because I really want to come and see it. Like, I was getting that kind of feedback from, I don't even know how many agents, quite a few. And some even on the same day as me writing off to them. And I was like, wow, so this was amazing. So I was like, yep, come on, girl, keep going. So I kept writing. then an agent got back to me and they requested a self-tape. They said, can we have this self-tape back within 72 hours? And I was like, yes, you can. Of course you can. I've been working on my craft in the background. I've been working through the Seamless online method acting course. I can do this self-tape. Anyway, they sent me the script and I was like, wow. Like, I instantly connected to it. The first time I read it, I cried. They basically said to me, if you know the film, which it was from Manchester by the Sea, they were like, if you know it, please forget everything that you know about it. Now, Manchester by the Sea is one of those films that I've seen cropping up time and time again. And I've always felt really drawn to it. And I've been like, oh God, I know I should really watch this. But I never have. I've never watched it. Anyway, thank God I haven't, because I did not want to be influenced by the actors in the scene. I just wanted to be able to use my own imagination, my own life experience, marinate the two, craft it together and create my own version. And I did. On the day of the self-tape, I recorded it. Well, I recorded it on my phone and I got an actor that I know to be my scene reader. And I did 2 takes and I think I had it in the bag. I think I had it in the bag the first time I did it. The second one wasn't the strongest, but I just said to my scene partner, I was like, I just want to do one more. Are you okay just to read in for one more scene? And he was like, why do you want to do one more? You've already got it in the bag. And I was like, I just feel like I've got something else in me and I just want to explore it and I just want to see what happens. And if it ends up being rubbish, it's fine. I'll delete it. Anyway, I did it. Holy shit. Like, I really connected to it. I found way more new moments. I was like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm deleting the second one. It's okay. It's all right. It's not bad, but it's just average. And I'm going to send in 2. I'm going to send in the first one and the third one. So I did. I sent that into them and I got it in way before their deadline. Thank God I did, because there was loads of issues with WeTransfer, which is how they'd asked me to send it over. For some reason, the sound and the video weren't syncing up, and I was like, oh my God. So I thought, right, I need to be able to problem solve this, because they need to know that I can problem solve quickly if things do go wrong. So I did. I sent them an alternative way and I said, listen, I know your preferred way is WeTransfer, but it's still not working for you for some reason. So here's the other way that I've sent it just in case. So then I heard back from them and they said they wanted a meeting with me. So this was the second round. I was like, okay. So I prepared for my interview with them. I got really clear on what my brand was, where I wanted to go in the industry. I got some questions down that I wanted to ask them as well. I looked back through their website. I looked on their about page and just jotted down some things that I really felt connected to in what was on their website, and then did the meeting. So I had the meeting with the head agent and the director of the company. You know what? Oh, in fact, let me tell you what I did. So the day before, I was starting to get a little bit nervous and I was like, no, come on, you've got this. Like, you've gone through module 1 of the Business of Acting Bootcamp God knows how many times. You've reworked your mindset. You know, you've changed any limiting beliefs. So the day before, I decided I'm going to make myself feel as good as I possibly can. So this is what I did. I had a bath. I fake tanned just because it would make me feel more confident. And whilst I was in the bath, I read a book about confidence. And what else did I do? I think the day before I did just loads of things that would make me feel good. So I went to the gym, I went on a walk in nature. I just did loads of uplifting things because I thought, well, energy is something that passes between people. I don't want to go in with this nervous energy of, I don't believe in myself and be a shrinking violet. I thought, no, you're sticking your stake in the ground in this interview and you're going to shine in it, whatever that means to you. So they're all the things that I did before. And then so I got myself obviously set up like 10 minutes before the interview was about to start. And then I said to myself, how do you want to feel at the end of it? And I said, I just want to feel like I've connected with these 2 people. I want to feel like I've had a good conversation with them. I want to feel like I've left everything that I can on the table. And in the interview, at the end of it, they told me there and then they wanted to sign with me. And I was just like, hallelujah, hallelujah. It was so exciting, so exciting. So they sent me the contract through. I read through it. I thought, oh, I'm not going to be a keen bean and send it in first thing in the morning. I think I sent it at midday, the day after. It's crazy because I do journaling every single day. I write in a journal. I write about how I'm feeling. I explore how I'm feeling. I write about what I want. I write gratitude lists of things that have not happened, but I give gratitude for them as if they have happened. And the really weird thing is I was looking back through my journal. So sometimes I read back through them. And on Sunday, obviously it was boiling hot in the UK. It was so hot. Before cutting the grass, I decided to read back through the last 30 days of my journal. And the weird thing is I'd been writing in my journal affirmations about I'm a warrior. You know, I can achieve whatever I want with a warrior spirit. And the weird thing is when I'd gone back on their website, I'd totally forgotten this until Sunday actually, but when I'd gone on their website, they talked about actors having a warrior spirit. How weird is that? How weird. Like, it totally emptied my mind that I'd even been writing about this like 30 days before about having some sort of warrior spirit. I was like, if that is not the universe like lining things up for me, I don't know what is. Anyway, so I've signed the contract. I've got a new agent. I'm bloody excited. And later today, after recording and editing this podcast for you guys, I've got a meeting with the agent. We've got a 1-hour meeting to go through my acting career goals. Thank God I've done the Business of Acting bootcamp and I know exactly what it is that I want to achieve. Thank God I did that anyway to retrain my mind to believe in all of this. Thank God I've been working on my craft in the background. As I've said, I've linked it in the description if you want to go and take a look at it. So let's just recap what I've done then, so you, if you feel inspired, can follow in my footsteps. So number 1 is I worked on my belief. You have to do that. You have to believe that you deserve an acting career and you can have an acting career. Number 2, you need to get clear on what it is that you want to be achieving. And then you've got to back that up with the acting skills. So get clear on what it is you want to achieve, back it up with the acting skills, and take action on what it is that you want to achieve. This is literally what I've done. So the belief was module 1, the thinking like an A-list actor, the Business of Acting bootcamp. The number 2, getting clear on what I wanted to achieve, was the 90-day sprint. And then the third thing, if you remember, is I got clear on my branding. Oh, this is the thing I forgot to say actually. In the interview, they asked me about my brand and they asked me what I believed my unique selling points were. Thank God I'd done module 4 of the Business of Acting bootcamp, the standing out from the crowd. Thank God I had gone through that with a fine-tooth comb because I could tell them exactly what my brand was, exactly what I believe my unique selling points are. So that's what you need to do. Get clear on your branding. And then number 4 is just take action. Take action on it and don't stop. Like, get addicted to taking action on it, which is essentially what I have done. I had a recall audition on Saturday, really enjoyed it. Now I've got no auditions lined up and I'm like, oh, I want another audition. So I'm not just going to rest on my laurels and just wait for my agent to get me an audition in. Oh no, I am still going to be proactive. I am still going to be looking for auditions myself because one of my promises to myself was you're going to get out to as many auditions as you can. I intend to keep that promise to myself. I'm just going to recap the recap. Number 1, work on your belief that you deserve this and can have this. Number 2, get clear on what you want to achieve. Number 3, get clear on your branding. Number 4, take action. And then number 5, if you feel you need help with these, then definitely go and check out the Business of Acting Bootcamp. I've linked it below in the description. There are video reviews on the page as well from other actors who've used it, who share how it's helped them with their career and how it's helped accelerate their acting careers as well. So you don't just need to listen to me, you can listen to those guys. That is literally how I did it. That's it. And you can do exactly the same. If you did find this episode inspiring or useful or motivating or insightful, then please leave a review on whatever platform you are listening to this on. So if it's on Standby's website, just scroll to the bottom of the page and write your review in the comments section. If it's on Spotify or Audible or Google Podcast, just hit write review and leave us a review there. And I will read it out next week. And then when you've done that, definitely go and check out the Business of Acting Bootcamp. And I will catch you in the next episode. See you soon. I have absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, aspiring actors. Now, if you did, I'd really love you to subscribe so you never miss an episode and leave a review. And if you would like weekly injections of inspiration, you'd like mini method acting challenges to keep you making progress with your dreams, come and join the most supportive acting community online by clicking the link in the notes to help you become an unstoppable actor.